Hey guys, so I'm here today with Elizabeth Withey, and she is a journalist and writer who has spent the entire 2015 wearing one dress. And she talks about that on her blog, Frock Around the Clock. So, can you tell us a bit about yourself and Laverne?
Laverne is the name of the dress that I wore for the last 365 days. It's her nickname. It's the style name of the dress, which is from work hall in Edmonton, Canada. I wanted to do this project in part as an experiment to see if I could, I guess, maybe just for a bit of a laugh, but also to try to simplify at least one aspect of my life, which was deciding what to wear every day and shopping and returning and laundering and all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. So, and it was in some ways a sort of a sustainability comment / test as well on can one item of clothing withstand an entire year of regular life.
And what were your considerations when you were choosing that dress?
I wanted something that would work in all seasons. Being from this part of Canada, there's a nasty winter and the summer can get hot. I wanted something that would be comfortable, you know, if I was having a day where I felt bloated and didn't feel like having something really fitted on or that kind of thing. I also wanted something that would work in both a casual and potentially dressier occasion. I don't have a lot of dressy occasions, but it could happen. I chose the color black because, I mean, it seems like the obvious choice, and in my case, it just made the most sense. I thought it would be the most nondescript and the least likely to show stains over the course of the year. I kind of established some rules for myself just to start the project off with a series of tenets around which I would work. One of them was that I would try my very best not to buy other extra accessories to compensate for the fact that I was wearing the same main piece. I've seen certain people doing projects on wearing one piece of something or other for a year, but then they sort of try to make it look completely different every day and spend a ton of money, and that sort of, to me, defeated the purpose. If anything, I wanted to challenge people by literally wearing exactly the same thing every day. The dress, the same tights, the same shoes, the same scarf. But I did mix it up a little bit just for interest's sake. In terms of washing it and the logistics of taking care of it, it made most sense to hand wash because that would be the gentlest on the material, and it's really quick to do in the sink. You're not going down to the washing machine, and you're certainly not putting on a machine with one item in it just because it has to be clean. So I would hand wash it and then hang it to dry. It didn't take much time to dry, maybe 2 hours. I found at the beginning it was winter, January, February, March, and I wasn't even having to wash it that often. Even though I was wearing it every day, I was kind of surprised. Like it was one time it was up to 10 days, and I was confident. Like, and I was kind of asking people, like, do I smell? Because I'm just checking. I don't feel like I do, you know? And I think in that regard, it was a really good fabric choice. Obviously, something like polyester would have been a nightmare.
And then also for seasonal things, like you, of course, had to layer for winter.
So winter, I was wearing cardigan. I could wear anything that I owned already. So I'd taken everything out of the closet that wouldn't work. And then anything I had that would work might have been cardigans, scarves, leggings, tights, different shoes, different jewelry, basically. I guess I hope that it would allow me more thinking time for other aspects of my life, that it would be less stressful in that regard. There have been other parts of my life that have become more stressful, but I guess I didn't still have to waste my time thinking about what to wear or buying something and returning it or whatever. It's early days in terms of how it will impact me in the long term. I think I've really done myself a favor in learning that I really don't need a lot of things that previously I might have felt that I maybe didn't need but wanted. I think the want has gone down. There's still times, like even this year, I'd see some awesome other dress and then be like, well, I guess I could buy it and then wait till next year. But it's just like, why? Like, there'll be something else next year. There's always going to be something more, something else. So I guess in that sense, it's allowed me to feel confident in not wanting as much. I hope that it has a long-term impact on me, or maybe even someone else or a few someone else's, even if they buy a few less things or feel like they can make something last longer, or they just feel more confident not caring about what people think about what they're wearing. Because I do care about fashion. I think people have a right to look nice. I mean, it's something we're fortunate to be able to kind of care about, but I don't think it has to be to an excess, I guess.
What were the best and worst parts of your experiment?
So one moment, it seems like the obvious one, but I was with my brother. It was summer. I was putting on nail polish at the kitchen table, and the I don't know how, I'm such a klutz. The nail polish, it was clear, But somehow it just like suddenly was in my lap and open, and there was, you know, nail polish on. I quickly picked it up, but there was nail polish on the dress, like right in the kind of crotch area. And of course it dries and it kind of turns white in the fabric, and I was trying to wash it and I wasn't helping, and I just thought, oh, this is going to be ugly. So as it dried, I was trying to pick at it, but without making a hole. And so that was slightly stressful. Of course, my brother was loving it and was like, oh, this will make a great story. And I'm like, well, it's a bit early for this to happen. If it had happened in November, it would have been better. In the end, the solution was just to use a Sharpie marker, and that made it black again, so you really couldn't see it. And then over the course of time, like, I can't find it now. It's obviously over time just washed out. It all worked out.
That's awesome, yeah.
Yeah, it could have been way worse. The best has been that people are pretty much wholly into the concept and supportive. A lot of women have said that they're envious, or that they feel like, you know, they'd like to have a uniform too. And I'm like, well, do it then. I mean, you can. You don't have to make it rigid, like I must wear this every day, but wear the same thing for a week if it's, who cares? Laverne, the dress, gained a little bit of notoriety, which I didn't intend, but, you know, I'd go to an event in the summer, a festival or something, or a library event or a literary event, and people would know the dress and like want to kind of meet her or touch her and ask how she's doing. So that was fun.
Now I'm curious, a lot of people are kind of worried about when they do more capsule or uniform dressing that other people are going to be judging them by wearing the same thing every day. Mm-hmm. And it seems to be that a lot of people don't really notice.
No.
Like, yeah.
No. Because I was doing an experiment and publicly writing about it all year, I developed an audience, and everyone knew about the project, so they knew about it in a positive way and thought it was interesting. I guess if you're just sort of a regular person and started wearing the same items much more frequently, people, I suppose it's possible people might wonder. But I found even with the people who didn't know that I was doing the project, they really didn't notice. It's like, it's all kind of a non-event in that sense, that most people, I mean, I didn't sort of do a study of it, but I found that for the most part, people aren't really paying attention to what other people are wearing. And if people do notice, well, it's your chance to talk to them about reducing the amount of clothing they have in their closet and reducing their impact on the environment, and, you know, reducing their kind of slavery to consumerism and materialism. So it's an opportunity to have a conversation. I'd love it if celebrities started, whoever, I'm trying to think, Charlize Theron, if she just started wearing the same thing. I don't want to say every single time, but oh my God, I saw her wearing it 3 different times, or 4 different times, or somebody else kind of had a particular style. I mean, there's a few people, like Adele kind of often wears the same thing. It's more guys though, like Obama or Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg. It's not women as much, but it would be cool if some women did that and sort of were challenging people.
So your blog is very personal, and I'm curious, did you intend it or just kind of evolve that way?
I have always written about personal experiences as a journalist, which maybe sounds like a contradiction, but I've always liked personal essay writing, columns, all that kind of stuff. So I've always enjoyed that sort of subgenre of nonfiction writing anyway. So it comes fairly naturally to me. I didn't know where the blog would go necessarily, and I wasn't anticipating some of the things that happened as I started the project and went through the project. But it just felt sort of dishonest or diminishing to just write about what I wore today and what somebody said, or if I got BO, or I don't know, that, you know, whatever, that, oh, there's a seam coming apart. Like, it just seemed kind of trite that way, sort of scratching the surface. And so I guess Laverne and the project almost just became a lens through which I could see the world around me and experience life.
So Elizabeth, thank you so much for joining me, and I will include a link to her blog below if you want to check it out. It's really interesting, and I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. Is this something that you would ever do? And make sure to give the video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.